What's up, all me Ewok shovels, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as thatstarwarsgirl, and in today's video, I'll be doing a review of 28 Years Later. And just a warning to everyone, this will have heavy spoilers. I posted a spoiler-free video yesterday. If you guys want to check that out, it is linked down below. That's just my initial straight out of the theater thoughts. So now that that disclaimer is out of the way, let's get right into the review, which is the British Isles are all on hardcore quarantine, which means nobody is getting out and nobody wants to come in, because the second, if you're from the outside, the second you get over there, if your foot touches land, you're done. You're never coming off. And if you try to escape, well, guess what? You see these ships here? They're patrolling, and these ships here, you're dead. They're gonna shoot you down until you go back. Like they do not want anybody getting off this island. And that's the sad thing too, is that they know that there's survivors and they just don't care, which is really weird, because did every single person on the planet lose that little thing called empathy and compassion? So it's like they know that there's survivors that are, again, surviving this absolute catastrophe, and they don't send them food, weapons, medical supplies, nothing, radios, nothing. They're just like, yeah, y'all are fucked. Which I have a hard time buying. I mean, I know just the way that people are in today's world, there would be so many people trying to send aid and relief to all of the survivors of this rage virus. But apparently in this version of the world, I guess everybody is just assholes and terrified, which, I mean, it is understandable why they would be terrified. But at the same time, you're already flying over with planes. Just drop some freaking care packages. Wouldn't you also be wanting to cure? I don't know. Wouldn't you want to cure this just in case if it does get out and get into the rest of the world? Wouldn't that be like one of your number one priorities, is finding the freaking cure? And I don't know, maybe the people on the mainland that are surviving can help you. And since there's planes constantly flying over in this movie, and they're like, oh, look at the chemtrails. It's like, you know that people are surviving and, living a prosperous life. So the main character is a little boy named Spike, and he lives on this island. You can see there's this land bridge that you can only access when it is low tide, which is, a thing, especially in Britain. So this is Spike. This is his father. And the first half of the movie is actually pretty good. It's like this father and son bonding experience. So the boy has never left the little island, and he's going to go with his dad onto the mainland, and they're going to go hunt. And his mom is sick. So his mom's in bed. She's acting kind of crazy. My initial thought was she's got some kind of like brain tumor or something. And I had heard like somebody say that she had dementia, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure she's way too young for that. I'm pretty sure she's got like a brain tumor and is dying. And so the father and son, they leave the island. The mom's kind of freaking out because it's like, no, he's too young. And even the people say before they leave, no, he's too young. He should be like 14 or 15, but he's 12. And the dad's like, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And so they go onto the mainland. They're shooting zombies with bows and arrows. Yes, there is a lot of nudity. The zombies are all naked. Apparently, nobody's clothes survived the past 28 years. And not only that, there is like different types of zombies, and it really made me think of a video game. And so the first zombies that you see are like really, really fat, and they like just crawl. And then there's like a child one, so they kill the bigger zombies, and then they let the little child fat zombie go for whatever reason. Then they come across this like destroyed, abandoned house, and they walk through, and there's some guy hanging upside down, and he's got like a bag over his head, and there's a bunch of blood in it. And so people obviously left him there to get infected by the rage virus. And so the dad's like, you got to kill him. You got to kill him. And so it's very clear because, they saw like 1,000 deer run past them, and they didn't try to kill them. At first I was like, oh, are they going to go hunt for food? But no, I guess it's hunting zombies. So they're just going to go kill all of the zombies. And I'm like, I don't know if I would volunteer for that type of job, but that's just me. Maybe it's just because I'm a wayman and I'm a scaredy cat. But so they find this abandoned house. Then they keep going off and looking. And so the dad even said before that they only have 4 hours until the tide comes in, and they're stuck there. So, they leave the house, they go looking, and guess what? They find trouble. This is when the scary zombies show up. And so they have to cross this meadow to get across this hill, and then from there, you get to this other hill that has this like tower of rocks, and from there you can see their island. But so up on this hill where there's this tree, all of a sudden you see a couple zombies come up, and the dad's like, stop, freeze. Hopefully they don't see us. And then what happens? another zombie comes, and another one, and another. And then there's this giant one off to the side, and he's like, oh no, it's an alpha. And so this comes into play a lot in the movie. And so they end up having to run from the zombies. And for whatever reason, they only took like 10 arrows each, maybe 20. Maybe I'm just bad at like eyeballing counting. But they didn't bring enough arrows. So they're running. The dad's saying to shoot, shoot, shoot. The kid is scared out of his right mind, which is completely reasonable. He's a 12-year-old kid running from fast, scary zombies. And so the dad's shooting him. The son's running. They get back to the abandoned house. They get up into the roof, and it's like jump scare after jump scare, because it's one of those things that they do in scary movies where it's like there's clearly not enough time for them to get to safety, which is to crawl up into the attic. And then even the way that like the camera angles are, it's like the zombie's right there, but then all of a sudden, like when the camera turns, it's like they're already gone. And it's like, bro was right there, and based on how fast they move, it should have got them, but it didn't. So they survived throughout the night in that abandoned house that they found in the attic. And the son, he's looking out the window, and the dad's like, see over there, that's the island. You can see our lighthouse. We'll be able to get home tomorrow. It's okay. And then the son looks on the other side of the house out the other window. Well, me saying window is very, loose interpretation. It's like holes in the roof. That's their window. And so he looks over and he sees smoke, and he's like, whoa, what's that? And he's like, I don't know, I've never been there. And he's like, well, it's a fire. Like, obviously there's people, right? And the dad's like, I don't know, I've never been there. And it's obvious he knows what it is, and he just doesn't want to tell his son what it is. So then they have to escape home, and as they're running home, they're running. They think that they're going to be safe, but guess what? Guess who's chasing them? Oh my gosh, is it the alpha? Yes, it's the alpha. So they're running across this land bridge, and it's not low tide yet. So they got like, maybe a foot and a half of water that they're running through, and it's one of those scenes where it's like, oh my God, run faster, because they get to the halfway point and they stop to talk for a second, and the dad's like, oh, you did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. And all of us in the audience are like, run, run, run. The zombie is coming. So they keep running. They stop after the little powwow. They run, and the dad's like dragging him because he fell. He's like, get up. And they're running back to the village. And they have really strict like rules on opening the gate, which is completely understandable. And as they're running, he's like, shoot him. And so all the people there are trying to shoot this alpha. And for whatever reason, even though they show all of like the training where it's like aim for their chest and aim for their head, nobody hits this motherfucking zombie in the head. And it's not like he's a tiny little midget person. He's a giant zombie. This dude is like 7 feet tall. I mean, if they have an NBA in freaking Britain, this dude would be the tallest one there. And for whatever reason, all of these 30 people with bow and arrows, and not just like regular bow and arrows, like the ones that are on fire, like giant spiky, I don't even know what they're called, but they're shooting him, and none of them hit him in the goddamn head. And it's like, what is it? Like, did you all just become stormtroopers? What is going on? And then they do shoot him with a big flaming arrow, and then he just is laying there in the ocean. And it's like, I don't know, maybe now would be a great time to get a bow and arrow and shoot him in the head, like, you guys all have. Or, oh, you don't want to waste your freaking arrows? I don't know, come out with a freaking bat or an axe, decapitate the mofo, because he's obviously going to survive. But does anybody take the time to kill him? No, they don't. They're just like, oh, whatever, he's just down, even though that's not how they die, or at least this one. This probably is just going to be a plot point throughout the entire movie. So we got to leave him alive for later. And it's like, oh my God. Aside from me being a scaredy cat, this is one of the reasons why I don't like watching scary movies, because people make the stupidest decisions. And it's like, because they try to make you bond with these characters, but then they're idiots. And it's like, well, no wonder you're dead. No wonder you're getting yourself killed. It's because you made that stupid freaking decision. Like, oh, the bad guy's in my house. Let me go run upstairs, kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh my God. All 30 of you mofos could have killed this guy. He's down. You could have killed him. And they didn't. So that was that. Now, the next half of the film revolves around Spike and his mother, Isla. So when they get back, they have a huge party for him because it was his first time back on the mainland. The kid, or I don't know, one of these people have like this weird scary mask which you think is going to come into play somehow and just never gets addressed. It's just like, oh, here, let's show this scary mask over and over again, and they just never address it. But since this is supposed to be a trilogy, I guess maybe they'll address it later. I don't know. But so like I said earlier, his mom is sick. She's got some kind of brain tumor or something. So it's like 1 minute she's lucid, the next minute she's crazy. And so he obviously loves his mother because that's his mother. And so at this party, he sees his dad hooking up with the town teacher, and he gets really, really upset. He goes back to the house, and there's like a kind of doctor-ish person there that's been waiting with his mom. And so he talks to him. He's like, oh, hey, yeah, when I was there, I saw this fire. And the guy was like, oh, that must be this dude. And I'm sorry, I am American. I really should have gone to the showing of this movie in subtitles. I cannot understand British people's accents. I don't know. Maybe it's an American thing, but I kept hearing that the guy's name was this, and then I guess another character pronounces it another way. So, and there's music also going on throughout the movie, and I can't make heads or tails of it. It sounds like gibberish to me. I'm sorry, all of you people in Britain. I can't understand what the hell you guys are saying most of the time. So I'm just going to call him what his name is. So Ralph Fiennes is the doctor on the mainland. And apparently he's like some crazy witch doctor now. And so, but he's a doctor. And so Spike gets in his head that he needs to get his mom to the doctor. And he's so pissed off at his dad because he loves his mom, and he did love his dad, and I'm sure he still does love his dad, but he's pissed off because his dad is cheating on his mom. So he goes off on his dad because he knows what his dad's been doing because he saw him hooking up with a school teacher, and he confronts his dad about it. He's like, tells his dad to leave. He's pissed off at his dad. His dad punches the roof, and then they're on the staircase, so he punches like the ceiling, I should say, and then he storms out. And so what does the kid do to distract everyone so that way he can escape with his mom? He goes and sets off the little hut that they have all their supplies in. He goes and sets that on fire. He's like, oh, there's a fire. Don't worry, I'll watch the gate. And as everybody leaves to go put out the fire to save all their supplies, he escapes with his mother. And so he tells his mom they're going to the beach. Him and his mom walk to the mainland, and the mom gets all loose, and she's like, what are we doing? This is the mainland. We can't be here. He's like, no, Mom, we're going to go see a doctor. And she's like, okay. And it's like, oh, this is a great idea, isn't it? But so Spike and his mom are making it through the wilderness, and they decide to stay the night at the church because the mom gets tired, which is understandable. She's sick, and she's like in and out of lucidness, and so they have some kind of cutesy, heartfelt conversation. She's like, oh, your eyes remind me of my father. My father used to be so silly, and they're like making silly faces at each other. And then he's like, okay, Mom, you go to sleep, I'll watch. And he falls asleep, and while he's falling asleep, one of them fat zombies that crawls is coming up, and like they eat like worms out of the dirt. So this fat zombie comes and like starts eating his shoelaces, and then he wakes up and the zombie is dead next to him, and like everybody in the audience is like, oh my God, ah. And then you see like the mom had like, she was lucid when this was happening, and so she was able to save him. So the mom was the one. She put her jacket around the zombie's head and like bashed it into the rocks to save her son. So it's like, oh, mother's love. Oh, she like woke up out of like her craziness to like save her baby. That's so sweet, right? And then they run into this dude. So there's the scene with all of these soldiers, and they're like in some kind of dam or like canal way, and they're all jumping down, and all the zombies are chasing them, and like one of them's limping, and then they're shooting, and then all the zombies pretty much get them except for 3. They were able to get into this tunnel that had like gates in it. And so at first I was like, oh, did part of the military survive, considering there was some like military people in the first movie? So maybe some branches of the military survived, and they have like a portion of the mainland. And then they're in the tunnel, and you think that they're gonna escape, and then of course it's all dark, and they have lights on, and who is there? Oh my gosh, is it the alpha zombie that they could have freaking killed on that island bridge the night before? Oh, is it him? Yes! Somehow, miraculously, he is completely healed, and somehow, again, miraculously, is in this tunnel, and he kills pretty much all of them except one dude escapes. And is this dude. Now, again, with the accents, I really wish I would have seen this movie with subtitles. Now, I thought for like half the movie his name was Auric, based on the way everyone is pronouncing things. And then when Ralph Fiennes says it, maybe Ralph Fiennes has been in like enough, like, I don't know, American movies, so he pronounced it Eric. And so I'm like, is this guy's name Auric or Eric? So I'm just going to call him Blondie because that's what he's got and that's what he looks like. I could not tell you what the hell this guy's name is based off of just seeing the movie and not going and looking it up on IMDb. Spike and his mom are running from the zombies. They run into like this gas station once they're able to open the door. It's all filled with gas. And so they're like coughing and the zombies are running. And this guy somehow miraculously is on the roof. And he's like, get down. And so they drop down. He shoots down at the zombies. And then the entire building catches on fire, or like that level catches on fire. But because they were on the ground where the gas wasn't, they miraculously survive instead of like the entire building exploding, which you would think that it would. But they become kind of friends, or allies, I should say, with him. And he's just like, who are you? What's going on? And instead of like immediately asking him like, no, who are you? Are you part of the military? Like, did the military survive? Are you here to save us? What's going on? Like, what resources do you have? Tell us about what's going on. Instead, Spike asks none of these questions, and he doesn't explain it until like 10 minutes later when they're on a walk and he's carrying the mom on his back. And he's like, so you guys can't freaking help me. And he starts like snapping at them. And he's like, oh, F. And then he explains that he is actually from Sweden and he was part of the Swedish Navy, and his ship crashed and they were able to get on a lifeboat, him and like 8 other people. And they tried not to land on the island, but the tides took them in. So they got trapped on the island, and now he's the only one left. And so he's kind of telling Spike, because they take a little pit stop in the meadow, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know what it is about all these people taking all these breaks when they know that they're in like zombie infested lands. I would be moving my ass off. I'd be so terrified. Like just sitting there, I'm like, stop waiting, like just move, keep moving. Don't stop. There's zombies everywhere, and there's that giant one that won't die. But for whatever reason, they just keep stopping. They just keep taking breaks. And I'm like, oh my God, this is why I don't watch scary movies, because it drives me crazy. And so they stop there, and he's telling him about like, oh yeah, I could be doing this. This is the internet. My friend is a delivery person. Like, you order something on Amazon and then he delivers, and I'm dumb because I joined the Navy and now I'm here and I'm probably going to die here. And he's like, oh, look at my fiance. Or I guess she's not my fiance anymore. Oh yeah, my phone's about to die. And he shows the kid a picture of his fiance. And of course she's got like the biggest fake boobs, the big like silicone duck lips, like the long bleach hair with extensions. And the kid's like, what's wrong with her? Like, what happened to her face? Like, bro, no, she's hot. And he's like, no, like this girl that I know that's allergic to shellfish, that's what happens to her when she eats shellfish. And the guy gets all mad, and then his phone dies. And instead of, I don't know, keeping it so somehow we can contact the outside world again, because it might be fucking important. Instead of that, no, he just chucks it. And I'm like, I'm sure somebody would have been able to find some kind of device to charge your freaking phone with. Or, I don't know, maybe any of the gear you had on here had some kind of batteries or some kind of cord. I mean, you were able to survive a sinking ship with it and land. I'm sure you got wet at some point and your phone somehow survived. You would think he would try to, I don't know, somehow contact the outside world. But no, none of that. So, no, he just throws it, and the kid doesn't think twice. Well, I'm not blaming the kid, because the kid doesn't know any better. But him, it's like, really? That drives me crazy when characters are stupid. Now, they hear some screaming, and there's this pregnant zombie on this bus that's having a baby, and the mom wanders in there, and the mom is, like, trying to, like, make contact with the zombie that's having a baby, and so she reaches out, and the zombie, like, takes her hand, because the pain of childbirth apparently kind of makes her, I don't know, like accept compassion and like somewhat for a second snap out of her rage to give birth to her baby. So the mom, and you can see the baby right here, the mom helps the zombie woman give birth to a baby, which is completely healthy. And it's kind of one of those things where, women that have diseases, and then because of the baby in the belly and the placenta and all of that, it protects the baby. And this actually was in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. There's this episode where Data and Picard are on an away mission. They come back to the ship, and some kind of virus got on the ship, and so all of them like de-evolve. But there's one crew member that was pregnant, and then Data has a cat who had kittens, and the kittens were all fine and normal, but Data's cat turned into a lizard, and they figure it out. It's because something in like the amniotic fluid and the placenta protect the baby from getting the infection, and so they use that to find a cure. Almost like they could do that in this movie. Now, the first part of the movie with the boy and his dad was great. This part, it starts to be like an acid trip. And I'm just like, I should have been on drugs when I was watching this. No, YouTube, I'm not condoning that. Don't flag me for that. I'm just saying, with legally medical assisted aid, I probably would have enjoyed this better, because like here you guys see all the bone trees. So this is Blondie's skull that he is going to give to Spike to go put it on the tower of skeleton tree thing, and foreshadowing for something that's coming. Now this next segment is like really like an acid trip. So the mom is sick and he's a doctor. They came all this way for her to see a doctor to get diagnosed. So he does his little diagnostic thing where he's doing this. He like touches her arms. He like examines her and he's asking her questions. He's like, oh, hey, remember I asked you to remember this word. Can you tell me this word? She can't remember this word. All of her like coordination is off and everything. And then he tells her, you have cancer. I don't know if it started in your body and went to your brain, or if it started in your brain and went to your body, but basically you're going to die. And the kid, again, he's a kid. He didn't go to like traditional school. He doesn't know what having, cancer that's metastasized means. So he's just like, wait, mom, you're going to die? And she's like, I've known for a long time. She's like, I thought in the beginning, she's like, I thought it probably was cancer, but she's like, I didn't want to tell you. I wanted you to hear it from someone else. I didn't want to be the one to tell you. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay, you got cancer. Obviously, there's nothing anyone can do. And he doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand that there's not medicine for her. And none of them are like, yo, cancer wasn't cured. Like, they could have just told him that. Like, hey, even before the apocalypse, nobody was able to cure cancer. There is no cure for cancer yet. And, we can't exactly be doing chemo and performing surgeries on your mom. And based on how she is, like, she's already too far gone for even the rest of the world to cure her. They never tell him that. And so with his little boy mind, you can see him thinking like, oh no, there's hope, because he doesn't know. He's seen this guy use crazy darts and he's rubbing himself all over with iodine, which is why he looks crazy. So instead of them explaining this to him so he can process that, so he knows there's no possible way to save his mom, instead, you know what they do? They drug him. Crazy mom holds him. Crazy witch doctor goes into like the freaking bone trees and gets his little dart and shoots him with a freaking morphine dart. And they drug him. The mom hands him the baby. She's like, oh, I love you. It's okay. And then she goes and walks off into the distance with this dude, and he comes back with their skull. And so this poster that they use for all their marketing, him and this skull right here, that's his freaking mom's skull. Instead of like letting her just live until she dies, mofo freaking killed her and burned her, and then gave the son her skull. Like, if this kid's not already fucked up now, he's definitely gonna be. Like, oh my gosh. Like, at that point, I was just like, I am so done with this movie. I thought maybe, just maybe, the dad would have some kind of like redemption arc and of come after the boy and the mom. Because when the boy and the dad are first leaving, the lady that's like, I guess, in charge of the gate, she looks at Spike in the eye and she's like, no one's coming after you. If you don't come back by the time, the tide is high, then no one's going after you. It's a rule that we have here. And she made him look at all like the crosses for all the people that had died and their names on it, which one of them was like the name of like my best friend's dad, which I thought was kind of funny. But so I thought, oh, maybe they make such a big point of this because the dad is going to break the rule and go after his son. But does he? Spoiler alert, no, he doesn't. The dad doesn't go looking for his son and the sick wife, which you would like. I felt like that was a perfect setup. And it's like, yeah, here's this rule and all rules are meant to be broken. And I thought that was going to be like the dad's redemption arc. And the dad was going to, after knowing that he fucked up, he's like, oh yeah, my wife's sick and dying. And he goes and hooks up with, the town teacher. And then he sees, or the son finds out, and he like is guilty, and he like goes off. And then the dad should have come back for a big heroic moment and reunited with his son and, stopped like the guy from basically cremating his wife, and then being like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm like, I fucked up, and I love you guys, I love you both, and let me be here, and then like have the mom die like naturally right then, like do a Padme and like lose the will to live because everything is completed and she's happy kind of thing. And then the kid gets like, oh, my dad actually is the hero I thought he was, in the redemption. And then Ralph finds us like, oh, yay. Hey, I remember when you were standing up on that tree and like I waved at you and guys never came down to hang out with me. Well, look what I built now, crazy kind of dude kind of thing. But no, that didn't happen. We didn't kind of get any kind of redemption from his father. Father's just a piece of shit that doesn't care about his wife or son, apparently. And then guess what? Guess what happens next? Alpha Zombie comes back. Yes, the one that they had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to kill. He is back. And this is something that they did in the first movie, so I was kind of like, oh, okay, they're doing it again in this movie, where it's like there's a scene and the characters are in one place and then all of a sudden there's a jump and they're someplace else and there's no explanation to how they got from point A to point B. So for whatever reason, Ralph Fiennes and Spike are in this like little bunker thing that's like, I don't know, like you have to like crouch and like with your knees up to fit in there, and there's some kind of cage on top, and like Ralph Fiennes like locks it and Alpha's like growling at like the bars trying to get them. And again, Ralph Fiennes is a witch doctor. He's got all those little darts of morphine, and instead of darting the dude with morphine right there, because Alpha, big scary Alpha, is trying to break in to kill them again, instead of doing that, he doesn't. They're just like, oh, and they're all scared. And then Alpha like seems to have gone away, and they're all looking through like the little bars on the roof. And then guess what happens? Alpha apparently is smart, because Alpha zombies are smarter and faster zombies for whatever reason. However, that kind of evolution took place in the past 28 years, I guess it did. So Alpha apparently figures out that they just dug under the ground to build this thing. So he breaks through the ground right above Ralph Fiennes and like is holding on to him to like, rip off his head. And instead of just like, he's has his arms through it holding Ralph Fiennes' head, instead of just, I don't know, standing up and dragging him through the hole that he has now made, he's trying to like break Ralph Fiennes' head. And based on everything that we have seen this mofo do, he should have already killed him by now, but the plot can't let him die, so it gives it enough time for Ralph Fiennes to be struggling with Alpha here, for Spike to take one of the darts that Ralph Fiennes can easily grab, and he grabs it, and instead he stabs Alpha with the morphine, and he's like, ugh. And then he's like, oh, thank you. And now it's like, maybe now you guys should fucking kill him. No, they don't. They don't kill him. So, and then they never address where he went or what's going on with him. So, Ralph is like, oh, you guys should probably better go home now. So, Spike takes off with the little baby, that little not zombie baby, and he's got her in like, I actually thought this was kind of cute. It's in like one of the baskets that you get at the grocery store, and so he's walking with the baby in the basket, and he takes the baby, low tide's there, he takes the baby back to his village, and they're reading this note that was with the baby, because he just left the baby hanging on one of the sticks that was sticking out of the gate. And so they're reading this, and he's kind of telling his dad about what happened, and he's like, oh yeah, met the doctor, this baby is from a zombie, but the baby wasn't infected because something to do with the placenta that saved the baby. So yes, these zombies are reproducing, and then they're just infecting the babies. I guess that's what's going on. But this baby's healthy, so take care of her. Her name is Isla, like mom. By the way, Dad, I'm not coming home. Don't come back. Don't come looking for me. I'll come home when I feel like it. Deuces. And then that's when the dad decides to have a moment of fatherhood, and he like runs out, he breaks open the gate, and it's high tide, he like runs out into the ocean, he's like, no, Spike, and he's like halfway in the water, and he's just screaming. It's like, I don't know, I have a hard time buying that. I think if you really cared about your freaking kid, you would have gone after him when you knew he'd left by himself with your sick wife, especially since you saw how he handled it the first time he went out. But no, all of a sudden, now that there's a baby and you know your wife is dead and your son's like, deuces, Dad, I don't need you. Now all of a sudden you want to go after him? Give me a freaking break. Then we get the iconic black screen that says 28 days later, because it's been 28 days since that happened. Now, this is a shot from the beginning of the movie when Spike and his dad are out in the very beginning, like on their little father-son hunting. And so you see this where it says, behold, Jimmy, he is coming with the clouds. And in the very, very beginning of the movie, it was like a prequel, maybe not a prequel, I should say, but it was like a scene of before, like right when the zombie apocalypse was happening, and it's all these little kids in front of a TV watching Teletubbies, and like the parents hiding and screaming because they know that the zombies are coming, and the only person to escape was this little boy. He like sees his mom and I guess his aunt and his sister all get murdered. All the kids get murdered. He runs to the church because his dad was the, you know, pastor there, and he's like, Dad, and the dad's like, no, this is like the reckoning. We're all going to be saved. They're supposed to go, which they're, from what I remember, they're very clear to not say God or Jesus. Like, he says that they're saved now, and then he gives Jimmy, the little boy Jimmy, the cross, and he's like, okay, you know, keep this with you always. And then Jimmy hides, and his dad gets, you know, taken over by the zombies and infected, and Jimmy's hiding under the floorboards, and then it cuts to 28 years later. But so when you see this, it's like, okay, we already saw the kid named Jimmy. Now there's this with Jimmy. I wonder how this is going to tie in at the end of the movie. So after the 28 days later black screen happens, we cut to Spike, and he is off in the wilderness somewhere, and he's skewering some fish, and then some zombies show up. He's got to kill them, but then more and more keep coming, so he keeps running. Then he's actually on like a paved road, so he was by a paved road when he did this, and he's running, and then all of a sudden there's all of these rocks, and it's like a blockade on the road, and so he's like, F, and he turns around, and all these zombies are coming, and it's clear he doesn't have enough arrows to take out all these zombies. And then lo and behold, who shows up but the Jimmy Savile stand-in and his gang of lookalikes. Now, for those that don't know that are American like me, I actually knew this because I do a show called The Jack Show Thursday nights, and we've talked about Jimmy Savile quite a lot. And for those Americans that don't know who Jimmy Savile is, it is a British thing. So Jimmy Savile was like the biggest TV show host in Britain, and then it came out that he was actually a pedo, and he was like molesting people, and there's actually video footage, which I would show, but I don't want to get flagged, of him like literally groping people as he's filming. And so he did a lot of terrible things to people, and you know, he's kind of an eyesore, but you can obviously see his name is Jimmy. This is what he looks like. And then these are the people that show up. And it is the little kid Jimmy from the beginning of the movie, because he has the same cross. The only difference is now the cross is upside down that he's wearing. And this is his cult of Jimmy followers, and they all look like him. And as, you know, everyone kind of is implying, based on the tone of this, is that he, you know, Spike is a little boy still. He's only 12 years old, and now he's met up with these people, and it's kind of implied that they are like Jimmy Savile, and some probably terrible, inhumane things are going to happen to Spike because he is with these people, and they're probably going to do some very, very bad things to him. And then the movie ends, and that was 28 years later. Now, I had never seen any of these movies before today. I actually watched the first one earlier today before going to the theater. I was told that the second one, I guess they retcon with this movie, so not to watch it, so I didn't watch it. So I guess it like wouldn't confuse me. Now, I had seen like obviously viral scenes, like the one where the woman's in the window, and like the husband's running, and like you see her get taken by the zombies, and he's like trying to escape. And I know that one's from the second movie, and there's something to do with like different colored eyes in the second movie. But again, that I guess is all retconned. So I actually was looking forward to watching this movie because one of my friends, who I'm very angry at now, was giving it raving reviews, saying, oh my gosh, everyone that's like saying that this movie isn't good, they're crazy, this movie is great, all the symbolism, and it's fun, I'm going to go see it again and again. My friend was so infectious with their excitement for it that it made me want to go see this movie. And, well, for everyone that watched this review, I wasted my money, so you didn't have to. If you want to see this movie, more power to you. Me, myself, and I never have to watch this movie again. I don't. And that was like over 2 hours. I just saved you with, I don't know however long this video is. I basically just gave you the brief overview of everything that happens, and that's it. That's the movie. The big twist at the end, I get it. If you're British, you're probably like, oh my gosh. But the entire world isn't British, and I know this movie is for the Brits. But still, it's like you would think that, I mean, I think an average American probably doesn't know who Jimmy Savile is, or that whole controversy. So I don't know how that's going to hit with people. And, you know, if they don't know, they're all going to go look into it. Maybe it'll be like another blow up like the whole Epstein thing. But overall, would I recommend this movie? I honestly would recommend the first movie. Again, today was my very first time watching it, and I actually enjoyed it. I was shocked that Doctor Who was in it. And for everyone complaining about nudity in this movie, in the very first movie, the first scene that we see of Jim, I know this is confusing, like in the first movie, the main character's name is Jim. But the first thing you see is him completely naked in a hospital. So there's nudity in the first movie, and there is definitely nudity in this movie as well. But all of that, all the zombie nudity, I mean, there is some shots of like women's boobs and like guys' packages, like the alpha dude. I'm not kidding. It's like this freaking big. And of course, they're all British, so it's like all uncircumcised, and all the women are like filthy and furry and like just, you know, it's not like appealing nudity. A lot of it is kind of blurry because they're so dirty, and also they're moving so fast. So it's like, oh, it's like if you're looking at someone naked underwater. I think that's like the best example I can give. Also, the first movie, since I just watched it for the first time today, it drove me crazy that it was like camcorder level, and people were like, oh, it's from 2002. I'm like, I've seen movies from 2002 that look great. But I guess that's the style that they were going for. And in this movie, since it was shot on an iPhone, there were definitely some times where it looked like it was kind of fisheye, and like things in the foreground were out of focus. And I felt like it was just trying to make me uncomfortable, which I even wore my glasses to the freaking movie. And like even that, like just the out of focus stuff, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It makes me annoyed. And so there'd be things where it's like, oh, it'd be nice to see that clearly. And I know that I can't because they're doing it on purpose and it has nothing to do with me. And that kind of stuff, it just irritates me. And that's all there is to it. And that's just a personal thing. Maybe you guys like it. I don't know. But overall, this all is my review of 28 Years Later. Would I recommend it? It's your choice on if you want to see it or not, but I'm never going to see it again, and that's how I feel about it. But if you guys saw it, let me know what you thought about it all in the comment section. If you guys liked this video, please smash the like button. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching this far through. If you guys want to throw me a little tip, give me a super thanks, I'd really appreciate it as well. Help me out in the channel. And if you guys are new here, welcome. Please smash that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications if you haven't already. I do a lot of videos here on my channel, and every single Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I do a live stream called TSWG Live. So you guys can catch me live there if you guys want to ask me questions in real time. But anyways, guys, I've been rambling on long enough about this movie. I'm done. I'm going to go to bed. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.